Alright, dude, it's me, Z. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a clip taken from BoxCast Episode 2, my podcast, where I talked all about PlayStation, Next Gen, Xbox, and many more things. If you want to see the entire clip, I'll link it above and below, and thank you guys for watching. Alright, dude, I'll talk to you later. Okay, so now, story-wise, God of War 4. God of War 5.
Story-wise, God of War 4. We start with Atreus being, a little older.
Right.
Kratos and him having, really great teamwork, a stronger bond. And this is where the ending of God of War 4 comes in. Thor comes. Thor's pissed at you for what you did at during God of War 4. This is going to be heavy spoilers, guys.
Right.
All right. If you have not finished God of War 4, stop before we even start talking about this stuff. Right. But basically, you've killed Thor. You've killed Thor's sons.
Right.
And that's pretty much. And you've also killed his brother.
Right.
And you're causing some mayhem.
Right.
All right. You also, even though you can't redo it, you also know how to get to Jotunheim.
Right.
So Thor, you're one of Thor's biggest targets. You're one of Odin's biggest targets.
Right.
And Thor comes and he's seeking revenge.
Okay.
Kratos and Thor fight. They're pretty evenly matched, but in kind of helping with the prophecy that we think happens at the end of God of War 4, where they lead us to think that Kratos dies.
Oh, right.
If you look at the mural on the wall,
right.
And Atreus says we're almost to the end, and Kratos goes, yes, we are.
And Atreus is Loki, spoiler.
Atreus is Loki, or that's his giant name that his mother wanted to name him.
Right.
Thor ends up defeating Kratos. Very, very, not very overly powered.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't just destroy and obliterate Kratos, but it's a pretty good fight. He ends up beating Kratos, and Kratos ends up dying. Now, I'm okay with Kratos dying as long as it's not permanent. For people who have actually played a lot of the God of War games, Kratos has died quite a bit.
Right.
I
think every game, almost?
Nearly.
Yeah.
Nearly every game he has died.
Not Ascension, maybe?
In Ascension, it's a little bit different.
Anyway.
But, he usually dies, but the point is that Kratos is stronger than death, and death cannot hold him. And that would be the same for this game. Kratos dies, he goes to Helheim. He's already been able to escape Helheim.
And so would you want a dual narrative where it's you play as Kratos and then you switch plays Atreus, you know what I mean? Or would it just be you only play as Kratos and you're looking for Atreus?
I don't want you to play as Atreus yet. Maybe they can have that in at the end of the game. I'm going to tell you why. But basically, Kratos dies. He's stuck in Helheim. He's in a deep part of Helheim, harder to get out than previously in God of War 4.
Right.
And you fight your way out. And when you finally get out, you realize more time has passed than is normal. That would happen if he wasn't in Helheim.
Right.
And you find out
we
find out that when Thor killed Kratos, he kidnapped Atreus, brought him to Odin. Odin and them used some kind of magic to basically brainwash and remove Atreus's memories of Kratos. And they made Atreus believe that he's an Asgardian Aesir god, Loki. And this is how we get into the dynamic of Thor and Loki being brothers. This is how we get into the dynamic of Atreus being the trickster god, where he's basically disrespecting those gods, playing pranks, setting up traps for them, because even though he thinks, in quotes, that he's an Aesir god, there's something that doesn't feel right, that he doesn't belong. And he doesn't really have respect for them, so he's always trying to mess with them, sabotage their stuff. Which is like Loki in actual Norse mythology. And basically, you're still not playing as Atreus yet, but basically the gameplay is Kratos having to solo this journey, fight his way to Asgard to save his son, and remind him who he is.
Right.
Try to bring him back. And Atreus also, story-wise at least, being conflicted with, why don't I feel like I'm family here in Asgard with these Aesir gods?
Are you going to play as Atreus at this point, or is it just he's the enemy?
So basically, by the time you get to the point, Atreus will at one point be the enemy, and it will be a very similar fight to when Kratos fought his, another spoiler for another God of War game, in God of War Ghost of Sparta. You get to save your brother from Thanatos, but your brother hates you for thinking that you abandoned him there.
Right.
And you have to fight your brother, but Kratos doesn't fight his brother. Not at full force. You kind of just petty fight him because you'd love your brother and you don't want to kill him.
Mm.
You would love Atreus and you wouldn't want to kill him. So Atreus and you would fight, and Atreus and like you would be trying to convince Atreus, and Atreus is like, you're a liar. But then as the fight kind of concludes, Atreus defeats Kratos. Atreus is an adult also, by the way.
Okay.
At this point,
okay.
like I said, the time.
Would it be okay if we started Atreus off as a kid, or does it have to be he's 16?
We could even start him as a kid.
Right, because then it'll make sense with at least the vision in the end of God of War.
Yeah, so that's not necessarily the part that I'm too concerned with. It's more so the fact that when Kratos was in Helheim, so much time has passed. He's an adult. So Atreus beats Kratos, not a legitimate defeat for Kratos, because Kratos is not trying to kill his son.
But it's more like
Kratos is trying to snap his son out of it and using methods that are far less than lethal.
Right.
And Atreus is like trying to go all out, trying to destroy this invader, this intruder.
Right.
Of
It's
Asgard.
like Darth Vader versus Luke in Return of the Jedi, where Vader's kind of trying to convince Luke to turn to the dark side. Kind of reverse that. But I get what you're saying.
So you would get to that point, and then you would actually end up through some form of magic that you would get from somewhere. We would find a way to get Atreus to remember, and then from there, Kratos and Atreus would be both playable characters.
Okay.
To where you could actually play as Atreus and Kratos, and it's kind of like the new segue into God of War 6.
I mean, yes.
Whatever they want.
So that's where the game ends. It's like kind of at the end of 2 when Kratos is crawling up the
Mount Olympus. This would be where like Atreus and Kratos
are like, we will defeat them together.
We reunite, and we're like,
we're coming for Odin and we're coming for Thor.
Yeah.
Right.
We're coming for you now. You came for us. We wanted to be left alone.
Right.
And now we're taking the fight to your doorstep.
Ooh, what a crazy end.
The next game would be you and Kratos, or Kratos and Atreus, both being able to be playable characters. Maybe they could even do an online thing with that. Maybe
like co-op.
Maybe like a co-op thing.
Now,
I'm not sure about a split screen thing. Split screen is kind of like a way of the past now.
So now, question. That all sounds amazing. Leave a like if you think that analysis of God of War 5 sounds amazing, which I actually think, like, that actually sounds very plausible. But my question for you is, will we see God of War 6 on PS5? Because God of War 5, as long as it's not delayed, is coming out basically the year PS5 is coming out. So could we see 6 as a swan song for the PS5?
I would really like that. I would honestly be a little bit annoyed if I had to buy a new $500 console every time I wanted to play one of these games.
I know, but they're gonna get you.
And I feel like because God of War Ragnarok, God of War 5 is gonna be coming out so close to launch. Right? That they would definitely have enough time to finish another game and release it as the ending to the PS5.
Okay.
And
as the swan song.
And then maybe even do like whatchamacallit, a Horizon not Zero Dawn, the new one.
Yes. Or Horizon, I don't even know what it's called, but Horizon Zero Dawn 2.
Yeah. Where they're planning on releasing it for both. And that to me would be fine.
Okay.
Because I would probably even still get a PlayStation, I guess 6.
Yeah.
And when I got a PlayStation 6, I would want to play God of War 6 on the newer console anyway, but I don't want to also be forced into it again. Because like I'm already kind of like gritting my teeth and I'm like, geez, now I have to buy a $500 console to technically play a $60 game. $60 or more dollar
$70
game.
Yeah.
They're gonna be $70 now, yeah.
Which we didn't talk about, which we don't have time for.
Have time for. But that's kind of like my brief. Remember the shorter version. I've written out more details and all that kind of stuff.
And if you want to hear about that, make sure to leave a comment, leave a like on the video, asking for B's full analysis and full plot, detailed story analysis of God of War Ragnarok.
Kratos gets a dragon.
Kratos gets a dragon.
I like when you free those dragons at the end of during God of War 4. Yeah, they come back. Anyway, if you guys want to hear that, let us know. If you don't want to hear that,
we'll leave a dislike. I don't know. We're gonna.
Now that's box talk.